Hello, everyone. I'm going to cut Nancy off there and let her finish her spiel in a second. Welcome back to Nancy. We're back streaming. Lauren's here.
It's been too long.
It has been, it's been, I think, like 20 something days.
Oh my gosh. No, it hasn't.
I think so. Yeah, I think it's been about 20-ish days. I don't know for sure. It feels like maybe a week went by.
Right.
Does not feel like very much time went by at all.
I did miss it though.
I did too, and I am so excited to get back to it because I spent too much money on the Steam sale. So I have lots of games. I have a wish list that's like 20 games long, and I think every single one of them was at least partially on sale for the fall sale.
Wow. You can't pass up the sale.
No, and like a lot of them are smaller, like detective-y kind of games, so they're like $5 when they're on sale, so it's like they just added up very quickly. I think I did buy Red Dead Redemption to play like on my own because that's like a long haul game to play on stream, but so I mean that one was sort of expensive. It was off 50% off of 60, but the rest of them all just added up from I mean that one has been going on sale all year long for the various Steam sales, but it's always only down to $40. So I was biding my time until it went to 30. So
Right.
but yeah, so we're gonna hop back in with Nancy. She's gonna finish her little opening spiel. Maybe I can cut her off by loading the game, but I just wanted to welcome you back to the cozy Nancy mystery solving space. Okay. I don't fully, I mean, I remember what was happening. We just did the wedding seating chart for this guy.
Right.
Which was a puzzle I really enjoyed. Loved that. But I don't remember what we needed to do.
We got some like info out of him because of it. I don't remember what.
So he, what was it? He knew he wasn't going to be the best man, but we found out that he's definitely in love with her.
Right.
And probably wants to sabotage this wedding.
If you weren't going to be the best man, how come you came out here so early?
I volunteered to help get everything set up, and Matt and Kyler took me up on it. I'm pretty good friends with Kyler, too. In fact, I'm the one who introduced her to Matt.
Uh-huh. How long have you known him,
How long
though?
have you known Kyler?
4 or 5 years.
Oh, her.
I met her my first year at university. She'd just gotten back from the States. From staying with your family, in fact. Wait a minute. Nancy Drew. Kyler told me about you. You're the girl who likes to play detective.
Well, it's just, kind of a hobby.
Late.
Although Kyler did say it'd be nice if I could find Matt.
Well, you're not gonna have any luck doing that. Old Matt is long gone.
Is he, though? I think you have him hidden in the walls somewhere.
Kyler says sometimes she hears Matt's voice, only it's very faint and muffled. Do you ever hear him?
No. Man, Kyler must be losing it or something, because I'm telling you, Matt is not here.
What's your problem, dude?
I know, he really wants him to not be here. The caretaker seems to think you're the one who should be getting married here. Looks like you and Kyler used to be a lot more than friends. That discussion you had with Matt, come on, what was it about? Ooh.
Do the least. Well, gonna cause a stir ones first, in case he's like, I don't want to talk to you anymore.
Yeah.
Have you ever been up in the tower?
Uh-uh. You saw the stairs, or what's left of them. There's no way to get up there.
I could have sworn I saw lights coming from it.
Perhaps it was the good people come a calling on their good friend and all. Or maybe it was just reflected moonlight or something. So if you're thinking Matt's up there, forget it.
Okay.
No way.
Yeah. They're all pretty.
Yeah, I feel like the last one, I don't know.
The caretaker seems to think you're the one who should be getting married here,
He's
not
more
Matt.
Irish.
Right.
Well, in case you haven't noticed, that guy's got several screws loose. I just happened to mention that 3 out of my 4 grandparents were born in Ireland, and now whenever he sees me, he gets this weird look in his eye.
How did he act towards Matt?
He and Matt did not get along. They were always at each other's throats, arguing about the stupidest things. Even those leprechaun gnome things out in the garden. Denal had a fit one day when he saw Matt messing with them. And when Matt announced he was
Right,
going to stay in the
that's a
haunted
puzzle.
nursery,
Mhm.
I thought the guy was going to burst a blood vessel, he turned so red. But Matt disappeared on his own,
But we
not
didn't
because of
know
anything
he
Denal did.
would.
I mean, the old coot's not that crazy. Is he?
Is he? Hi, Avery. Oh, you like my lights? Oh, yes. I have my Christmas tree up with all the tiny presents that I don't want my dogs to eat on the table behind me. And then the bigger presents are out in the living room. But yeah, thank you. I'm trying to make it as festive as possible in here. We gotta.
From the looks of that picture I found over there, it looks like you and Kyler used to be a lot more than friends.
Yeah, we dated for a while, until it finally became obvious that we were better as a couple of friends than as a couple. No biggie.
Okay, but did you get over it though?
Okay, but yeah.
I don't.
That discussion you had
don't
with
think you
Matt,
did.
Come on, really. What was it about?
It was about Kyler. I was asking Matt whether he had truly thought through what being married to her was going to be like. The more questions I asked, the more nerves I struck, and the more uncomfortable and angry he became, until finally...
Why were you
He
doing
gave you
that?
Right,
shine.
I would probably have the
stopped
same
upstairs
reaction.
in the nursery. Next day, he
You're like,
disappeared.
dude,
Obviously,
go away.
the things I said got to him. So if I seem a little guilty to you, it's because I am guilty.
You
It's
should
my
be.
fault that Matt walked out on Kyler. Simple as that.
Even though he didn't walk out on her. But you should feel guilty.
Right. And like, of course, if someone who had a relationship with them where the relationship didn't work out starts being like, well, what if this happens? You would be like, well, that's not an issue for us.
Right.
Good talking to you.
See ya.
Okay. All right. So,
I can't just go snooping around, not with Kit right there.
do you know how cold it must be in here? I don't care what time of year it is. It's probably cold as hell in here. I guess let's go back upstairs and talk to her, and maybe we'll bump into somebody else. So that's the broken tower. Creepy kids room.
You have a lead?
Sure.
I
Oh,
called Alan
right.
Payne. He said that on the day Matt disappeared, you and Matt had a pretty big argument.
I dare say Matt and I have argued about one thing or another every day since we met. That's just how we are together.
Meh. I hate couples like this.
Me too. It's so uncomfortable to be around.
Yes.
Can you remember what you were arguing about?
I haven't the foggiest idea. Apparently, you should ask Mr. Big Ears Payne.
Okay.
I guess so. Bye.
I'll catch you later.
Anytime you want to talk, I'll be right here.
Avery asked, is this a princess? I mean, technically, yes. She's like inherited this castle. It's falling apart. It's not a nice castle, but I guess you could say. Are we in Scotland or Ireland? I forget.
I think we're in Ireland.
That's what I thought. Okay. It's yeah, we're in Ireland, and I don't think she's really a princess, but she's, very old Irish family and technically has a castle, and her fiance is missing.
And we're her maid of honor in her wedding.
Yeah, she was an exchange student and stayed with us, and we have pretty much not spoken since, and then she asked us to be her maid of honor.
Oh.
Did we zoom in on this vase before?
I don't think so.
I'm not seeing anything that we can do with it. Weird. Okay. Did we do this gear puzzle?
I think we still need one more gear.
Was it like 9 of each or something? Or 10 of...
10, yeah.
Okay. Or does that say 10 now? I guess it doesn't. That's just how many there is supposed to be.
I think so.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, we need a baby gear. Okay. So we need to find a little gear somewhere. Do we have it? Okay, we did find one, I remember.
Yeah. I think it like automatically gets put there.
Mm.
Don't huck at me, right?
Oh, right.
No, you don't want the toy. You know you don't. It's just because she has it.
Are we supposed to balance these, I guess? I don't know what the hell these symbols mean.
Didn't we get a book on this?
We have a book on the Zodiac.
Maybe we need one more.
Also, we have whatever this is. I don't know what this is. And then we have this. 7 levels of society. The leprechaun said to me, the row below guides the spinning way to a treasure stash not far away. Is this the key to the gnomes?
Oh my gosh, with the clovers.
Yeah.
Yes. That's, I bet. Maybe, I don't know. But it's a good guess.
I'll take pictures of it so that we can have it.
Twilight. But okay, Avery, I have 2 dogs, and my one dog doesn't even really chew on her bones anymore. She only wants them when her sister is chewing on them.
Yep.
Which is annoying. They're like toddlers.
That's how our... Oh, I forgot she looks ancient in pictures. Our dog Leica is the same way. She will pick up a toy and be happy playing with it, but the second Devin picks up a different toy, she's no longer happy with her toy and will never be satisfied until she has the one that he has.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, so we have like a general order here, and then, you know, it goes through all the different zodiac signs.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I don't know what to do with that yet. But we can go outside and try and figure out the gnomes.
Yeah.
Do you remember where they were outside? Okay, me neither. I don't remember. Alright, I forgot this mechanic is the way it is. Okay, there's pass. I don't think it's this way, but we'll go this way.
I think it was on the left.
How do I...
You can't click on it?
Oh, I guess I can, but it was... Right, and then there's these symbols, which are not Zodiac either, and I don't think they're in... this book. 7 levels of society, the leprechaun said to me, the row below guides the spinning way to a treasure stash not far away. First stood the I can't read that. Ardri, High King he, proudly facing forward for all eternity. Okay, does this, I mean, landowner was the Flaith. I think we just have to do what the clovers say for this.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know what those symbols are for yet either.
Alright, those tombstones. Which I wrote down, I think.
Yeah, I have them written down and I have pictures of them. Can't interact with them at all besides just looking at them. All right, that's the bog or whatever it is that we died in.
Oh, yeah.
There's a well. So is it
Alright.
this? Oh no, this is like a...
What is that?
Alright.
It's the banshee. Okay. I could have sworn it was on one of these walkie
Yeah.
bits.
I thought it was on the left too.
Is it in here?
Perhaps.
Ah.
Okay. So, do you think we just have to have the ones forward that are in the book? Or maybe we turn... Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's unclear. So we maybe turn them in this order. First stood the High King he, proudly facing forward for all eternity. So we think, is this one facing forward? Is that what it's saying?
Sounds good to me.
So this one.
Okay.
Sounds good. Okay. What is this word? The Twath's local king?
I guess.
Are these T? I don't know if these are, I guess these are T's. Twath, local king, leads he the tribes in every little thing.
That doesn't give a direction.
Avery said that's what I sound like when her cat wakes her up at 4 a.m.
Oh, the screaming.
the banshee. Oh, yeah. My dog he just like paces the house sometimes at night and his toenails tapping on the floor. Sometimes I just wake up and I'm like, please go lay down somewhere. For God's sake. So, I mean, this one says nearly equal to the king's station. So are we assuming that one's also facing forward?
I don't know.
We can go off of that theory, I guess. So, local king, leads he the tribes in every little thing. Do any of the others give directions? They were the makers of a history of a nation. Landowner was the Flaith, noble by the Brehon law. I don't think...
No.
Wait.
What?
Is this like forward, forward, back, or right, back,
You're
left,
totally right.
front, right, back. Okay.
Totally right. Good job. Yes.
Kendall redeemed hydrate. Okay, I'll hydrate.
What does that mean?
Can spend your channel points on my Twitch channel now to remind me to straighten my posture or hydrate myself.
That's funny.
Okay. Have the pictures. Do I have all the pictures? Is there just the 2 pages?
There's 3. Nope, there's 2. Just kidding.
Okay. So this one is facing to the right. Do you think it's their right or our right? Probably our right.
Try both.
Yeah, we'll try both. The left one's facing left. That one's facing back. This one. Oh, it is facing forward. Is that one like double? Just the sides?
Yeah, both sides.
To the right. The bottom one to the back. Oh, there we go.
Nice.
A doll.
Oh, there's something for that in the nursery.
Okay. Got another coin that I'm not sure what to do with. I thought we just needed the coins for... hello? We didn't find this earlier. Wait.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, there we go. What?
Oh, I thought it was vows.
Oh. I think it is
It
Vows.
is vows, yeah.
I, Kyler, choose you, Matt, as my friend, companion, my companion, my love, through life's trials and celebrations. We will travel through life's trials and celebrations, through the road of life together. This is so hard to read. United in heart and mind from the first... What? The first what? You crossed out meeting and didn't write anything else. From the first, you have a truer gift I've never known, and one I will treasure always. Matt, with this ring, I give you all my love, my heart, my soul. What am I doing? This is wrong. Okay.
So she was chilling out here writing her vows.
Spooky music. I guess so. Okay.
I have a feeling that Matt did all of this and laid all these clues as a big old game for her to try to find him, but she's not doing anything. She's sitting on her butt reading a book, and we're gonna find him, and then he's gonna fall in love with us.
No, no.
Not her.
Oh, no. She did, well, okay. At first, remember, she was convinced that this was all a big prank, and she was like, I don't need to look for him. He's just playing a prank. And we were like, no, I think he's really missing. You should be worried.
Do we have them all now? We do. Oh my gosh.
What do we do with this?
There's like a rainbow now.
Yeah.
Can you back up? Is it like shining on something? No. How did nothing happen just then?
I think we need to click them in the right order.
Oh.
Or in a order. Like maybe in this order of the rainbow. So there's like this one.
Yeah.
Well,
I'd say
There's
that's after the purple.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 8 colors. There's one extra color. Cause yeah, this is. There's like a lighter purple and then like the dark blue.
Maybe don't use that one?
So we think it's this one first?
Yeah.
And then this one?
Yeah.
Nothing seemed to be happening. Weird. I mean, the Wraith, what's her face? Yeah, she's pissed. She started squalling when we did that. Evil returns to the evildoer. What is this?
It's gotta be those colors. Like, maybe... I don't know what to do with the dark one.
I'm thinking it's not an order thing, because none of them make like a different noise. You know how that, or like indicate or light up or something to indicate that they've been pushed.
We can't move them around in any way.
I can't pick them up. I can't click and drag. So why were we collecting dolls?
I think it's the little bookcase in the corner.
In this room?
I thought so.
I don't understand why we can pick up that book. Did that?
Need to do more, I guess.
Can we not put this one in? We're only carrying around that one. Weird.
He's on the thing.
I know, but like that's the only one where.
Yeah, because we got the girl recently.
Right.
I guess because it's Matt, supposedly.
Yeah. Okay. Shut up. I don't like that noise.
What do we do? What do we do? What's up with the rainbow?
Yeah. It just goes like up and over right there, it looks like.
I was gonna say like maybe the dark one is before the lighter blue and it just like gradually gets up, but like they're all pretty distinct little bars.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a definite line right there.
Yeah.
For sure.
What?
Why do we have that?
I don't know.
What was that too? Okay.
Oh my gosh, that's so awful.
Such a terrible noise.
I'm pretty sure if we walk out there, we die.
Do we do both of these things? We definitely did this. Oh God, I remember reading this. We do have
Right.
something written in binary on that piece of paper.
Right. Can we... Okay, so... Wait, what piece of paper?
On this.
This looks like something that we can, like, press in the
Mm-hmm.
printing machine. Have we tried that?
Where's the printing machine? Behind us?
Down by Kit, I think.
Oh, okay. We can go try that.
But it looks like we can decode that. Or maybe we already did and it's just, like, one letter or something?
I don't think we did, because I think we read that and got overwhelmed, and we were like, we have other stuff to do, and put it off until later.
It is pretty overwhelming.
Okay, let's see.
Man, there's so many times in every Nancy game where I'm like, a child would have to do this.
Yeah.
This was made for children. Yes. Kind of forget, but I think you put ink on it.
Just any color? And then
And then paper on top.
we roll it through. Uh-huh.
You put it on there. Right?
Yes?
Well, that was weird. It looks like a zipper.
It does look like a zipper. What is it's just a copy of what this is.
Yeah, it's weird. The numbers didn't show up.
Which is weird. I don't understand why. And we just, why do we even need that? Like, why, you know? Why is that even a thing?
I don't know. Maybe try it in a different color. Maybe you have to do the same piece of paper with all the different colors. I don't know why that would be any different.
Maybe. I wonder if the binary translates to a letter or a series of letters that we have to do it in.
Ooh. That's interesting.
So it might be it.
Okay, we should try to translate it.
Can we do it more than once? No. Okay.
Well, it like pops back up at the end when you're done. So maybe if we hadn't like backed out of it.
I mean, this one pops up.
Yeah, but then the little plaque thingy is just like hovering above the machine, which is kind of weird.
Okay, well, we will go try and see what the binary says and then make sense of that and then come back.
Oof.
All right, I'm gonna write it down. Okay. So, convert binary into a letter by locating the 8-digit binary's numerical value on the chart. So, the first numerical value. Would it just be 111? Did you write it down as well?
Yeah. But I think... oh my gosh. Okay. For example, to convert that, use the chart to locate the letter with a value of 106.
By finding column values that when added together equal the numerical value.
So, is that like... what the heck?
Each 1 or 0 represents a single column, writing 1 if the value is used and 0 if the value is not used. In 8-digit binary, columns represent the following values. Okay, so if it's 0, it's not used, so we don't use 128. We do use 64.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And then we do use 2 and 1, so would it just be 67? Which would be C.
64 plus 2. Would it not be 66?
Well, there's 2 1s on the end.
Oh, I see.
So you would use
Yeah.
the 1 as well.
So,
For example, to convert... Yeah. Okay. Use the chart to locate the letter with a value of 106 and find that that is the binary for J. Okay.
I think you're right. I think it's C.
Okay.
Oh, wait. But 106 on that is not J. Oh, yes, it is. It's lowercase j. Okay.
Oh, there is like upper and lower. I didn't notice that. So it's uppercase C. Avery, what is this? 2 plus 2 is 5. Yeah, I don't... The first time I read through that, my brain must have just... It was much easier to understand just now. The first time, I think I was just...
This is too much.
overwhelmed and
Yeah.
was like, nope, this is... I'll deal with this when I have to deal with this.
Yep, for sure.
Alright, so I think we need to do cyan.
If we just kept trying them, we would have got it.
Oh yeah, eventually...
I wonder if it's gonna give us another set of code. Nope, it's just blue of the same thing. See, it pops up at the top. It's weird. Oh my gosh, is that it's a new... No, it's not. It's the same code.
It's the same
I
code.
was like,
It's okay.
I wanted it to be something different.
Avery, it was like a binary coding system that we had to like solve, but we solved it and it gave us C, so we were assuming we had to use the cyan ink, but it just gave us blue of the same thing, which is what we already had, but just in yellow.
Maybe we'll get another plaque and it like adds to the picture or something. I don't know.
I was hoping that would lead somewhere, but it
Yep,
did not.
me too. So,
Maybe we can ask people about this now that we...
she looks like she's a little bit on drugs.
Yeah, just a little bit not sober.
She could be drunk too, you're right.
What's going
Okay.
on?
Nope.
I'll see you later, okay?
Drop by anytime.
Can't talk to him about it. Can we talk to her? Where is the caretaker? Are we ever gonna see him again?
He's at the inn.
Oh, right. That's right.
There's only 3 characters, right? Except for Matt. Obviously.
There's... So far, I think so, yeah.
You have a lead?
No.
I'll catch you later. Keep me posted.
I have a piece of paper with 2 marks on it.
A zipper and a circle.
But in blue now.
The picture does look like Aunt Petunia Avery, but like her character doesn't.
Right, like,
Very different.
yeah. It's strange. Have we seen Binary anywhere else? I don't think we have. I don't remember it being anywhere else.
No. I guess we can try to go talk to that guy. Maybe we could call back the groomsman, although I kind of remember when we talked to him last time, he was like, I'm leaving, bye.
Right.
Can we look at the lady? Yeah. Oh, we needed coins. I don't think we've done it yet.
I would like a fortune.
Oh.
Oh, that's the last one of that puzzle.
Scratching like a dog at a flea circus. What? Hi, Filipino Mango. How have you been? It's been a while. I don't know what this means.
No.
Scratching like a dog at a flea circus. I mean, okay, can we do it again? What? What? Okay, I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah.
I don't know. The fact that it took it away from us makes me think it's not important.
Yeah, I didn't think getting the weight was important.
Yeah. But I'm gonna do it at least one more time just to see what the hell.
I would like a fortune.
If you have any regard at all for your personal safety, Miss Drew,
Oh
you
my
will
gosh.
leave now. What the fuck?
Chills went all over my body.
I don't think so. Do you? Nancy has balls of steel because I would be out.
Okay, please, bye.
Yep. Don't tell me twice. Aye. I'll be out of here immediately. Well. Oh my gosh. Almost done with the semester so I can focus on watching your streams. Oh. Was this your last week of classes? So you just have exams now? I say just have exams like, oh, you just have exams. But I don't mean it that way. It was Kendall's last week of classes too. Next week. Nice. You're almost there. Home stretch. Yeah, I guess we'll do what the spirit said and we'll just bounce and go to the pub.
Oh my gosh. I can't believe. I'm glad we did it again. That was a nice little spook there. So, like, obviously something bad is happening because. Yeah, someone's trying to make us leave.
Yeah, someone's definitely not on board the Nancy train.
And whoever it is somehow, like, got inside that machine.
Yeah, and like set it up to... Which won't work on Nancy, but would definitely work on me.
What's on your mind then?
Oh my god, I forgot about his voice.
Sometimes I hear this strange kind of wailing sound when I'm in the castle. Have you ever heard it?
These ears don't work so well now. Even the pattern of rain is beginning to slip by 'em. But the situation being what it is, by my reckon, a banshee you heard.
The pattering of rain.
You mean someone in the castle is going to die?
Aye.
Someone as in Matt?
How they know what they know, and why they do what they do, are mysteries far beyond mortal solution. But be assured, lass, someone at Castle Malloy is doomed.
Huh.
I'd better get going.
Fine with me.
Has anybody died in a Nancy game? Is that something that happens?
People have come like close, but no.
Sounds like Kendall when we play Stardew. He does a country accent.
Yeah.
I guess he does do like the country, like the pattering of the rain.
Right. This guy has like a munchkin voice.
Can we call the guy again?
Phone card to the rescue.
Hey Hannah, how's the mystery at the manor? Welcome, brave Bushido. It's going good. We're kind of stuck right now. Don't really know what we're supposed to be doing.
Threatened to.
Yeah, someone just directly threatened us, so we'll see how it goes. Brave is fine. Got it. I'm just kind of calling people now.
We do have the wait now, so we can do that puzzle.
Okay. Alright, well, let's head back then. I hate walking on this road. It's so spooky.
Yeah.
How dare they put an Ireland flag over an England one? I mean, we are in Ireland, so I can see that happening. So this weight puzzle has all these symbols on it though, and I don't know what they mean. And I mean, we just have to...
Yeah, my guess is that it just has to be balanced.
I think so. Maybe it'll give us an order for... Maybe it's the same symbols on that thing outside, and it'll give us an order once it's
that's
balanced.
Yeah. Some of them don't have some.
I'm gonna go with like one of the blank ones on... Okay, yeah, so they are even.
Ah, okay.
I mean, I guess...
Yeah, just play around with it.
Oh!
Ooh, that's really close. That would have been wild.
So close. So have you played all the Nancy games? So my friend here, Lauren, has played them since she was a child. I'm playing them for the first time, and we are playing them in chronological order that they were released. So I have played up to this point.
Yeah. We have much love for these games.
Yes, they are very delightful. I don't have the mind for Nancy games. They do require an exceeding amount of patience at times.
Yes. Sometimes puzzles will really get to us, like in the last game that we played.
It's not
I think it's Phantom of Venice. There was a puzzle at the end that we spent a good hour on and eventually had to look up because it was utter nonsense how you were supposed to solve it.
Yeah, I stand by looking that answer up. I don't like doing that, but you guys would have seen a very ugly side of me. Lauren and I were getting real snappy with each other.
Yep.
Yeah, it's for the most part I really enjoy them. Okay, wait, so we can't, I think these do have to be
On the
three different ones.
Yeah, Avery, me and my friend would play them. Like, she had them all at her house, and I feel like it's in typical kid fashion where you would, like, go to your friend's house to play their video games because you don't have them.
Yup.
So we played every single one of them, and most of them I don't remember except for my, like, favorite ones. But I definitely love them. And then Hannah played two of them, two of the newer ones, and got hooked on them too. So
Yeah, I played Sea of Darkness and Ghost of Thornton Manor and really enjoyed both of them.
oh my gosh, you get so close.
Right? Like, I don't... Okay, that's not closer. Is this any closer? Ugh. Is this any closer? Not really. So maybe if we switch these two?
You're doing great. I have no advice.
I know, like, I mean, if we were starting from scratch right now, is there a way, I mean, we could just write down the combinations we've tried, or, like, take pictures of the combinations we've tried?
That would be a lot. There's like so many possibilities. You get so close. It kind of seems like it does matter which ones are on which side of the same one, so maybe it is in order.
Yeah.
But then that's even more combinations.
Right.
Oh,
Ugh, I thought that was it. Ugh. These two are for sure even.
oh. Okay.
Is that? I don't think that's even on either side.
Oh.
But it looks like it should be.
Yeah.
That certainly isn't. What was the first one we tried there?
That's a good idea, though, to try to, like, one by one make them even.
Yeah. I... This seems even. Does that look even to you, that one?
I think so, yeah.
It's very hard to tell. Okay, so we think that the like pound symbol and the male symbol are even. Left looks lower. I think this one's lower, but I think these two are even, so at least we know that these two weigh the same. That's definitely lower still. That also looks a little closer.
Yeah.
Those are not even. Those are not even. Those look even. Okay, so the X with the lines and the Quidditch hoop with the lines. Okay. So it is.
Quidditch.
So are these two potentially equal? They're close.
Yeah.
This one seems a little lower. Maybe. If we go on that theory, and we do well, so then it would be the arrows and the Z's. I don't know how to split it up 3 ways, you know?
Yeah. I feel ya.
So it's that, and then if we did this,
Like the opposite?
this, no. Hmm.
Could you do like a heaviest, middle, least heavy, and then like on the other side, heavy, little, least? I don't. That was kind of gibberish, but do you get what I mean?
Right now I don't know how they compare to each other. So like I know that these two are like mostly
I think
even.
those are the heavier ones.
Okay, so if we put this one, which these two are supposedly equal to each other, it's, yeah, a little bit lighter. Heavier, lighter. And then how does one of these compare? Definitely lighter,
Not as light.
but not as light as these. No, lightest. So this group is the lightest. So, with your theory, you were saying, now that we know which kind of order they're in, if we do a heavier one and a lighter one, is that what you're saying?
like the medium in the middle. Yeah, so yeah, heavy and light.
And then
Medium in the middle.
2 mediums in the middle, and then light and heavy. I mean, that really looks like it should be it. I don't...
Do you think they have to be
In
in a
a-
specific order? But then, like, if that's the thing, there's so many different ways that that could be.
Yeah, I don't know.
I just feel like we're missing a piece of the puzzle. Yeah, what do we have?
Constellations. I can't even like loosely make these look like the symbols in my head.
No.
Okay. It's just the case briefing.
We used this.
We used this, yeah. I don't think there's anything else to get from that. Oh yeah, when we talked to her, I feel like we should have been like, we found your vows on the bench if you want them back.
Have we talked to her since then?
I think I talked to her on the way in here. Maybe not.
You have a lead?
No.
I'll catch you later. Anytime you want to talk, I'll be right here.
Man. How do we solve this?
I don't know. Why do we have this?
I don't know.
I, Kyler, choose you. Did we talk to Kit after we found the vows?
Probably.
What's going on?
Good talking to you.
Drop by anytime.
And we still cannot... What is this?
I don't know.
I'm gonna do the only color we haven't done yet, just to see if it's any different. It's just red.
Yeah.
I should finish what I just printed before I take more paper.
What is the point of this, Nancy? She doesn't say anything. I feel like it's supposed to be blue. Like we did solve a whole thing for that to give us the letter C.
Yeah.
I
I'm
just...
so annoyed about these weights.
Yeah, the weight, I don't... It's 2 puzzles now where we have everything we need and have completed it to have nothing happen. Like the rainbow puzzle's the same way. I didn't mean to come back down. Oh no, this is what I meant to do. I wanted to just look up there again, but I don't want to kill Nancy.
I mean, maybe we didn't do it right. It's like almost the slightest imperceptible difference in the scales.
Yeah. Nothing happens if we push the cyan thing.
That's a good shout.
Is there anything else that we have or like we've looked at that like requires paper that we could put that on or like pair it with in any way? I don't like that we can mess with that and nothing happens. I guess it's like the book. We can just read that book, but not do anything with it.
What an awful noise.
Is there any way to put the numbers in? Is there something else that we need that is asking for numbers? Because we could use those other letters and find out, do you know what I mean? Like we could find out the binary numbers for black, yellow, and red. I don't know where that would get us.
Right. Oh.
Oh my god.
Is this helpful? I guess. I mean, lead is like
Is this
heavy.
telling us
I
how?
think this is like weight, but I don't know the weight of cedar, oak, and mahogany.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's by weight. Yeah, mango. Yeah, I think it's. I feel like this is giving us weights.
You think from top to bottom?
I would just assume so. I would assume ironwood is heavier than a cedar. I don't know why I would assume that, but. So, we don't even have a cedar.
Yeah.
But it's saying that oak is lighter than mahogany, which is lighter than teak wood. Which I guess
Maybe trying to look at the scales isn't really.
and then it's saying zinc is lighter than iron, which is lighter than brass. And then copper, silver.
The one on the right is higher.
So it needs to go down a little bit. So we need to put a slightly heavier one. So right above iron is zinc. And right above copper is brass. So we can try switching these two. That was not enough. So maybe we switch out these two. I don't, what is this? What is this? How does this help us?
It's gotta, I mean, it's gotta be weight. I think we've deduced that, but just like, how do we combine them on the 3 so that
If we did this, and then we do the next 3 lightest, which would be zinc, iron, and brass, and then copper, silver, lead. Yeah, so it's definitely in terms of heaviness. So we need to make this one a little bit lighter. So maybe we move like that. Those seem pretty even to me. So maybe we move one of these, like the silver. No, that's not.
the wood ones definitely have to be on different.
What is this? What is this puzzle? If we put the lightest wood as oak,
Yeah.
and then second lightest. So then the next lightest thing is zinc. So what I did originally was I didn't put it with this lightest thing, I put it with this. And then I just shifted it over 1 every time I put something on, thinking that it would balance it out.
That makes sense, I think.
So if so it would be the next lightest thing. If we put it here, the next lightest thing, or the next heaviest thing would be iron, and then the next heaviest thing is brass, and then copper, silver, zinc. And that gets us super close. But I just don't.
I feel like the wood thing is a really good place to start with the middle.
Yeah. If we do... I don't know how to get them much closer than that. That seems dead even. Okay. I was like, excuse me? That seems so even. Oh, okay. Very satisfied that we didn't have to look up the answer to that. Okay.
Oh, it's for the slidey puzzle at the gate.
The very first thing we did, because we're overachievers.
I was also thinking while you were doing that, you remember the thief in the New Orleans one where we did it backwards? Maybe that's what we have to do with the rainbow thing. Because we only tried it starting with the purple.
Yeah, that's true. We can try that when we go back in. It's just weird because usually when there's some sort of order to a puzzle like that, it like they push in or do something, but maybe it is just like you just have to trust that you're doing it in the right order. I'd have been real mad if these were unscrambled again.
Yes. I was like, is nothing gonna happen?
I thought for a second, okay, all right. All right, I feel validated. we got a thing. 1101. Okay.
So we do have to, I think, use the same paper. So we should make sure it's blue.
I think I did leave it on blue. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Whew. We have shit to do and it feels good.
Yes. So much better than just walking around not knowing what to do.
Or having puzzles you think you should be able to solve, but you can't. Oops. Nope, you were totally right. The hell.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, and it's a secret passageway. Ah.
We love a secret passageway. Is this the way back out? No? Hello? What? I'm assuming we'll take it. I'm just gonna go and take a picture of it.
Is this for the bog, maybe? I don't even know where we can, like, walk around with it.
It probably is for the bog, yeah. What?
You just took that piece of wood? I'm sorry, what?
What? What? Okay. That was strange. Is there really nothing else? We can't mess with this grate, or... Okay. Oh, God.
Hey, John. Ooh.
Bird?
You alright there?
Hello?
Oh, hello.
Hi.
Nancy's just like, yeah, I'm just gonna stand here. I'm not gonna run away.
Well, maybe I am supposed to be running away. Oh, maybe. Oh. Oh. Things are happening.
You're right. There has to be a logical explanation for what we just saw. So I'm going to calm down, relax, And trust that you will discover what that thing was.
Oh, we got you.
You are going to figure it out, aren't you, Nancy?
I promise.
Nice. Also, Brave, I totally missed the follow. Thank you for the follow. I'm so sorry. I hope you're still watching. Thank you so much. We wanted to be... Yes, we wanted to look at the binary thing. Okay, so it's 64. Skip, skip. So then that would be 72... 76, 77? Did I do that right?
Yeah, seems right.
So M. Is it technically magenta or is it maroon? I keep doing this.
I guess magenta, but I don't know.
Kath, you subscribed. Thank you for the resubscribe. It's been 2 months. So much fun. Thank you so much. You guys are so sweet. And thank you for... I'm going to call you out and say thank you for the donation. I did receive it. I keep forgetting. But you have just reminded me. Thank you so much. Okay, so we want that... I mean, but I don't usually have to click on it to put it in there. It usually just goes in there.
Maybe you have to look at it first. See? This is the other one.
I know, but I just looked at it and then clicked out and tried to click it in there and it wouldn't do anything. I don't get it.
But it's not that one. Like maybe you have to click on the one that we're doing now, which is the other little
This?
No,
Or the, sorry, I knew what you mean. I thought that was the newer one. Do I have to click on it first? No, see, it won't go down there.
but we don't want to recycle it. Maybe, okay, maybe recycle it and then do that one first still, but then maybe it'll give you the option to do the other one. Yeah. So like, okay, so do the blue.
And then after this, switch it out.
Yeah.
So then we want
Probably still have this scan.
to try it. I think it's, I guess it's a scanner. I don't know. And then,
What the heck?
right?
What?
Okay, where it's just... Okay, we'll do blue first. Because we can only have one down at a time. So
Yeah.
then we do the paper. Yes. And then...
I should finish what I just printed before I take more paper.
What? Oh. Oh, can you put
I
that
should
back
finish
on?
what I just printed before I take more paper.
Ah, there we go. What a faff. That is just
Yeah.
not easy to understand. Okay.
I'm guessing we need more than these two.
Yeah. We're probably just gonna have to do all four.
But now I know how it works.
Okay, well.
We have the rock thing.
The rock thing and the plank, which I think is gonna play with the rocks. Something with that. And I do think you're right, and that it needs to be somewhere down near the bog. So let's go outside. I think it was all the way over. Was it technically that?
Yeah, I think so. And there's some Karens. Oh gosh.
She's so mad. Okay. On trail, forward 1, right 2, left 3, down 1.
Oh, we're not on a trail.
Right. And if we click this, we die.
It's a pretty big step.
So if we, can we,
Ooh, okay. We can plank it up. Ah, ha, ha. Alright.
okay, so forward 1. Right, no. Yes? That's not the same as the right 2.
I didn't take a picture of it.
So the right 2 has 2 stones on, it's 2 stones next to 2 stones. And this is just the 1. What does that mean? I don't know. Let's try it.
Okay.
Okay. Hello, bird. Just slowly sinking to our demise.
Yeah.
Okay, so I forgot. There's like a whole rigmarole when you.
I'm pretty sure this stays for most of the rest of the teams.
Okay. Forward 1.
Yeah.
I guess right?
Maybe it's right 1.
Oh yeah, I guess if there's 2 stones, maybe it's right 2, so it's right 1. This would be forward.
2? Question mark? Because there's 2 stones?
I guess. Yeah, forward 1 was just 3 stones, so maybe forward 2. Oh, but do we go right now? Nope.
Maybe it was forward.
Strange. Okay. So, but are you just supposed to ignore some stones?
I guess so.
That's what I did the first time, but then we died. I don't get it. Okay, forward 1.
Right 1.
Right 1. Forward 2.
That's the theory. Alright, so far so good.
So right 2. Forward 2. Okay.
Ooh, left.
Left 2. Well, I think it's left. Oh, it is left 4. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. That is down 1, so it would be down 2.
Yeah.
1, 2. Right 2.
Left.
Oh, yes, good call. Left 2, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, that's down 1, 2, 3. Is this eventually going to lead us to something? I feel like we're just going in circles.
We haven't died. It was left. Sorry.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. Left 2.
I think as long as we're not dying, we're doing good.
We are doing different things, so... Alright, that's a left 1. Forward 2.
I think we're gonna have to come back through this.
Oh my god, that would be mean. That's a right 1. Forward 2.
Can you be done yet? Right.
Yeah, I don't feel like I'm missing something. Forward 2.
2.
Okay. Okay, right 1. Forward 1. Oh my god.
Wow.
Good
That was a
heavens.
long thing.
That was very long.
Are we gonna meet the 4th character now? Nope.
It's like Hagrid.
We have Aunt Petunia and Hagrid.
Oh, we do. Calm down, Nancy. It's just flies.
Making some potions.
I guess so. Herbs and remedies. Sage, a dried herb that should always be kept on hand. Moonwort comes up infrequently in the paddock grounds. Lavender by the base of the stones that reach toward the sky. Wood, an enemy. Flowers in the woodlands in the spring. Heather lines the peat to the south. Marigold blooms by the river's edge in early summer. Lady Fern graces the woodland paths. Larkspur marking an end to a road less traveled. Rose, no garden is complete without at least one bush. Yarrow brightens the ring where the good people gather. Vervain welcomes all who enter the land of the Malloy. Foxglove loves the rich.
Hummus.
Oh, humus? I guess humid of the marshy peat. That's weird. To ward against disease, tie a bunch of mint round thy wrist. To summon a banshee. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Bugbane, to get rid of insect infestations, mix together equal parts of tansy. Okay, let's do that. Tansy, pennyroyal, wormwood, thyme, and catnip placed in infested area. Charm for safety, 10 blades of yarrow. Okay, to attract bees. Interesting. Okay, so yeah, let's make the insect repellent. Mix together equal parts tansy. I don't know what to do with it.
Probably have to grind it up first.
There's 2 things though. Okay. So there's...
Did we just keep that?
I don't...
Maybe it automatic. Oh yeah, we did.
Weird. Okay. Tansy, pennyroyal. Wormwood.
I already have some bug repellent. I don't need to make more.
What?
What?
The hell? What are you talking about, Nancy?
What?
This bitch doesn't know what the hell she's talking about. Wormwood, thyme, and catnip. Is this catnip? Okay.
Can maybe
Do we have to... I'm wondering if we need to do like this? Tansy,
Oh, you're so right.
pennyroyal,
That might
wormwood.
be like the trash can.
I think it is. Thyme and catnip. Okay. Now we have a mixture that puts it in our inventory and we can just pop it. Good job, Nancy. What the hell was that?
What was that? Yeah. Huh.
Okay. I don't know where that goes, but I'm sure we'll figure it out. Okay, I mean, I'll take that.
Someone
Make-
is making those dolls, yeah.
Yeah.
Looks like I need a key.
We have a bobby pin.
We have glasses. Not my glasses. Can we not make a doll? I feel like if we need a couple, we could just make them. Is that really all we can do in here? There's a key.
Does that mean we have to go across that bog every time we want to come back here?
Yep.
Maybe she'll just do it.
That's true. Nancy could just be like, I know the way, and hop across. Who knows?
Right. What the heck? We're
Huh.
not very good snoopers, are we?
Right. We should be going through all of this stuff. Okay.
Oh, thank God.
Thank the Lord. I really didn't want to do that. What do you think that lens goes to? Can we put it on these?
Oh, there are like holes. Look at you. That's one of the symbols on that wall.
Yeah. So we have a wiggly. Can we take that again? No.
You can't. Aw. Maybe back out again. Maybe I'll take it.
Oh, okay. Good shot. Okay, and then a diamond with a ziggy-zag. And a swirly boy. Okay. So if we go over to the wall, well, it was this one first, technically. Where's the...
It's at the bottom. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
I figured you probably needed to put them in order of the dates on the tombstones.
Yeah.
So I was just trying all of the combinations because I didn't have the patience to... Oh my god.
It's a sheep. Oh my gosh. I think I remember
Be friends with
this
me.
bit.
Oh.
If you go to the right, I think there's a house. But there's something else.
Oh, is it just the house? I think it's just the house.
There's another building.
Okay. We'll go off to the right.
Yes.
Uh-oh. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? The gear.
Ooh. I don't really remember if it's a good thing or bad thing. It's like a little chore that you get
Oh, okay. That's fine.
to do with the sheep. Woolly no more.
Willie no more. When a sheep enters the station, the microchip implanted beneath its skin will display its group color and family on the screen. Carefully observe the emotional state of the sheep, then use the chart below to determine the group, color, family, and emotion values. Add the 3 values and enter the sum into the Woolly No More version 6 to program the correct cut. Press the shear button to commence shearing. Wow. Okay.
I know.
So, do we...
I mean, you haven't been given the task yet, I guess.
I guess not. Okay. Okay. Well, we'll have a walkabout. Hello. Hello. What's up this way? Oh, goodness. That didn't seem to really go anywhere that way. Do I have to chase them down?
I think so, if I recall. Ooh. Well, this isn't really creepy. It's very bravish.
Here's...
Zodiac.
Okay, we finally have Zodiac stuff. Okay.
Oh, with the seasons.
Yeah. So we want to do a winter... Well, I mean, it's just... It goes in the order, but... What?
That's weird.
Why?
You can do all of them. Pretty sure go down and then you can go to. Oh.
Okay, that must be when we solve it.
Yeah.
So do we think from... How do we know which one is the top? Like, which one we want winter to be?
I guess we can guess it's where that stone is. And then.
Yeah, seasons were marked by the setting and rising of the constellations. Okay, so we want winter to be this one. And then this would be... It goes anti-clockwise, right? So spring would be to the right. I guess that's summer. Okay, so that must be spring. So summer. I listened to that album today.
Really?
Yes. Okay, so it's spring, summer, fall, winter. Okay. I don't know what the fuck this is.
Either.
Yeah, I think we have to come back. Let's go do the gear puzzle. That's a definite lead that we have. And maybe when we do that, someone will be like, hey, by the way, there's some sheep out there.
Right. I'm guessing the caretaker is gonna be like, do this.
Should we talk to
What's
him?
going on?
Have you ever been?
He's gonna be like, what?
No. Don't tell me you've been traipsing through the bog. Are you nuts? That stuff's like quicksand.
Did Matt ever try to cross the bog?
The only thing Denal ever said that made sense to Matt was stay away from the bog. And he did. And you'd be well advised to do the same.
Fair enough.
Good talking to you.
Drop by
Fair, but
anytime.
also no.
Right. Fair for a normal person. Okay.
You have a lead?
Nope.
I'm gonna go play detective now. Anytime you want to talk, I'll be right here.
Okay, madam. All right.
It's more like Fiona.
She looks my what?
Fiona from Shrek.
Yeah, that's definitely. It's definitely there. I can see it.
It's the green sweater and the red hair.
And the red hair. Hello. Alright, so it's a little, at least the way we used to have it set up that one time was like this, and then that one, and then a little one here, big one here, little one there, big one here, I think.
That
Then
might not turn.
little,
Maybe.
I think it has to be that one. And then here. Okay. We had a big wheel here. Okay, so maybe this big wheel goes. How did I have both of those?
I think you connected it at the top to the middle one.
I am working off of a picture though, of where I have it, where I completed it. Like we had it where we had all but one.
Well, by the logic at the beginning, you can't have two little ones.
Yeah. So. Okay, that works. But then we can't connect this one to either one of those. Do, do.
Yeah, that seems super right.
And that one, and then there's a big one here. Little. Big. I'm gonna put these away. Little, big. Then there's a big one there. A little one there. Well, what's weird is I think this is supposed to be up one. Oh goodness. Like that. And then I had this one there, I think. And
Sorry.
then, that's okay.
Ooh, look at all those pretty gears.
I know, they're working as they should. Did the middle one turn? Yes. Okay. So, like that. And then, I feel like we have an extra now. How is that?
Yeah, can that go your own stuff
Right, but then like,
there? Maybe just add it on somewhere.
sure. Okay. Well, it didn't need to be there. We didn't need to go find it. Whatever.
What? Another one of these?
Just give us the doll, though.
Yeah, for real. That wasn't as satisfying because
Does having the different cards matter? Like if we have him, we have knights, we have her, we have the cow, we have the cat, a horse.
it's on the.
Oh, it's on here. Pig, knight, cat. So we have all of these.
Alright, let's try it. This
So
is another like puzzle that's good for you.
yeah, that's like it has to be one way.
This is very much over my head.
So this has to be to the side of the knight. So it has to be down here somewhere. I'm presuming this means it has to be to the left of it. I guess it could be left or right.
And directly below the cat?
Yeah, because so it can't be here because I think what this is saying is this has to be to the side of the knight, which has to be to the side of her.
Okay.
So yeah, this knight can't be next to two things. The cow has to be directly above the pig. I guess the horse is on there and it's only in the one spot. The horse has to be next to the cat. So the cat has to either be here or here.
Yeah.
And the cat also has to be next to, or directly next to, oh, I see. The cat has to be directly next to a knight.
Oh, because it's just to the side of it. It's not directly to the side.
So the cat has to be here,
Yeah.
which means this, the cat is directly above him. And
the pig directly below the rocking horse. No. Directly next to the rocking horse.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's...
but we don't know which side of it. Well, it has to be this side because the cow has to be directly above the pig. Okay, he has to be next in to the side of a knight, which is to the side of the girl. The cat has to be to the side of the horse. The horse has to be directly next to the pig. The knight has to be directly next to the cat. That's true. and she has to be directly next to a knight. So I think she's there. I feel like that makes sense. This is next to the knight, which is next to her. You can't put them on top of the knights.
Check. I don't think it will.
Nice. Okay, I did have it right the first time.
A coin.
I know, that's disappointing. Do we have all of these? We don't have all of those.
I don't have the sheep.
I think we can do that one. Are we missing any of those? I think we have all those.
Yeah.
Okay. The cow. Okay, well, the chandelier is directly next to the pig. Is that the only chandelier? Yeah.
And the pig is directly next to a knight, so that's got to be the spot.
Okay. Okay. The cow has to be directly next to this guy. And the cow has to be on the center floor.
Yes.
So cow's on the center floor somewhere. And that means he's on the center floor somewhere.
And he's directly above the Blue's Clues.
Yeah. She is directly below the cow. Okay, so the cow also has to be...
She's not directly below. She's below.
Oh, above it in any direction. Got it.
Whatever
Okay.
that means.
I think just below, like, floor-wise. Yeah. So it doesn't have to be in a line. But we know Cat's up top somewhere. She has to... Where is this lady? She's got to be on the bottom.
What's the difference between above and above in any direction? Because above is not directly above. Oh, maybe it's like
It could be 2 floors.
2 floors.
I think that's what it is. So she has to be above her.
So she has to be on the second floor with the cat. Or the third floor.
Okay. Cow, directly next to this guy. What does this mean? To the side of on any floor. So this has to be to the left side of the cat on any floor. So these two need to be switched. Really? I can't. Okay. So, yes, Blue's Clues is to the left of the cat on any floor. She has to be level with the cat. Pig has to be directly to the left of the knight. The knight has to be on the same level as Blue's Clues. The chandelier has to be directly to the left of the pig. She has to be above her.
So can you put her over one? That doesn't mess anything up, does it?
I don't think so. And then the cat has to be above in any direction the cow, which is true, which has to be above in any direction her, which is true. And then he has to be above Blue Clues. Yay!
Nice.
Another coin!
Woo!
Which, like, we can earn those in the in the friggin'
Yeah.
pub, so I don't understand why we're solving puzzles to get. We already had 4 coins.
I mean, it's like once we use the Matt doll, I'm assuming something more is gonna happen. How many of those do we have?
I think just 3. Because we've done that one, we've done that one, we haven't done this one, and then it goes back to this one.
Okay.
So yeah, we don't have the don't have the sheep.
You have a lead?
I'd better get to work.
Anytime you want to talk, I'll be right here.
Okay. Maybe we need to go talk to like the caretaker.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll tell us to do the sheep job.
Yeah.
Off we go.
Off we pop. I want to go to Ireland.
I do too. I want to go. I mean, we went, but I feel like I didn't go at all, honestly.
Yeah, you weren't there for very long, were you?
No, we were there for, I think, like right at 24 hours, and we were super jet lagged for it, so yeah. Didn't feel like much.
What's on your mind then?
What do you know about the stone pillars with all the weird writing on them?
I've never been able to make heads or tails of them. Even bought me a book on Ogum runes. Waste of good money that was.
Ogum runes?
All those lines. Ancient Celtic
Is she
symbols
talking about
they are.
the thing that we already solved?
I believe so.
I lack the time and patience
Or is
to
he-
work out just what.
Maybe he's talking about
You think I could borrow
the
your
bottom level of
Sorry
the
to say,
Zodiac
I'm
puzzle.
not in a lending mood at the moment, lass. A wee bit of me favourite drum music would put me right. But the band can't be playing it because their drummer took sick. Looking
Oh
for
boy.
someone to take his place there.
You know
I
Nancy's.
could probably fill in. I mean, not permanently.
Oh
but-
god.
Go to it then. One ditty is
Oh
all.
my
Play well
god.
enough, and the book will be yours. Seamus will help you get started.
Oh boy.
What a fine lass you are for helping out the band. Now here's what you do. Watch the cue. When it reaches the drum, just hit
It's
the
like
corresponding
Guitar Hero,
section of
but
the bow ring
not.
with the beater. Keep doing that till the song's over. And if you've kept the beat well enough, the band will split their tips with you. They're about to start. Just watch the
Alright, you
bar.
got
Keep
this.
your wits about you.
Oh my
you'll be
God.
fine.
If I understand what the hell I'm doing. Okay, so here.
Will these look very similar?
Oh god.
What does... Oh, space bar.
I think it's spacebar. Yeah, I was misinterpreting it as purple. Oop. Oh my god.
Oh, this... Ooh.
Oh god.
What if you hit them all every single time?
That might actually work. I don't know how sophisticated the Nancy Guitar Hero scene was. How bad do I need to not be? Like,
No tips for you.
After that, I'm in a worse mood than ever.
okay.
Give me another chance.
I want to know what the bar is here. Like, what do I need to...
To win and pass. That was great.
Oh, oh god. I done fucked up.
It's okay. I don't think you missed a single one before that.
You miss one and it really throws you off. That's how I always was with Guitar Hero too. I missed another one. Damn it.
We're above what we were last time.
I'm nervous.
That was a middling job.
Okay.
Nevertheless, here are your tips.
Does that count? Are you gonna talk to me now?
Sweet as clover to the honey it was.
That was a turn.
All right.
He was like, that was okay.
I'll not soon have need of it.
I'll take it.
Will you be wanting something else from me then?
Have you ever been to the other side of the bog?
Do I look daft to you now? There's no walking across the bog. Once you fall in, there's no getting out.
Mama Odie's out there. What are you talking about?
Even, there was talk of an old gypsy woman who kept house in the bog, living all by herself, crazy as could be. But at all times,
Living her best life is what I say.
that bog girl.
Staying away from everybody. Just living the dream.
Yes, exactly.
Guess I'll go now.
Good night to you.
You gotta dig a little deeper.
Okay. The ancient Celtic Sabbats. Being a short history and a description of the 4 major Sabbats compiled together with a diagram of the Ogum Alphabet. Okay. Okay, yeah, it is those. Ancient Celtic society lived by the celestial skies and the sun, moon, and stars define their calendar year and celebrations. Through the summer and winter solstices, though the summer and winter solstices were honored, the 4 major sabbats or festivals were the midpoints between solstice and equinox. These 4 celebrations were Samhain, Imbolc, Beltane, and Lunasa. I've heard of Samhain. It's Halloween related. No, I think because Samhain would be in between summer and winter solstice. I think.
It's still fall, no?
Yeah, that would be fall, but I don't know which of the other 3 goes to which season. Because true written language did not appear in Ireland until the 6th century AD, no Celtic historical texts detailing the celebrations exist. Lore and tradition were instead passed on orally by bards. In the 4th century AD, an early version of the written word appeared as the Ogum Alphabet. Known now as Primitive Irish, it contains 20 letters split into 4 groups of 5 letters, marked by a series of notches on a straight line. Okay. I'm just gonna take a picture of that real quick. Okay. Examples of Ogum inscriptions can still be seen today in stone ruins all across Ireland. Written on the page, these letters read left to right, but on a stone marker, they read from bottom to top. This alphabet eventually gave way to Old Irish, ancestor of today's modern Irish, and written manuscripts finally began to appear. However, with centuries of history already passed, many of the ancient Celtic beliefs and traditions were never transcribed. What other secrets the 4 major sabbats may have held have been lost forever. Okay, I will continue reading, not standing next to that light. Samhain was the start of both the Celtic New Year and the dark half of the year. The Celts believed that the dark preceded light, with the day beginning at dusk. Observed on November 1st, Samhain was the precursor to All Hallows Eve, or Halloween, as it is now called. It was also the time of year when the veil between the world of the living and the other world was at its thinnest. Places were set at the feast table for the dead, as inhabitants from either world could cross the boundaries on this night. All home hearth fires were extinguished to signal the closing of the year. A new bonfire was then ignited, heralding the new year's beginning and fresh starts. Individual firebrands were lit from its flames and taken back to relight the hearth. The new year and the coming winter had been ushered in. Imbolc honored Brigid, the goddess of poetry, smithcraft, and healing, translated as in the belly, symbolizing the spring lambs that would soon be born. The celebration took place on February 1st or 2nd. A festival of hearth and home. In modern times, it is also known as St. Brigid's Day. The traditional lighting of candles represented the imminent return of the sun in all its warmth. I really like these so far. They all seem very, like, cool traditions.
Yeah.
Beltane, precursor to May Day, was celebrated on the full moon nearest the midpoint between the vernal equinox and the summer solstice, typically near or on May 1st. This festival celebrated the start of the light half of the year and the beginning of the pastoral summer season. As the fertility festival, it honored life. Like Samhain, the boundary between worlds was thin enough to cross on this night. To provide protection, twin bonfires were kindled from 9 sacred woods. Livestock was driven between the fires for purification against disease and to bring luck into the coming months. Firebrands were again taken from the bonfires to relight the hearths at home. Lunasa announced the first harvest and the autumnal harvest to come. Around August 1st, as the fruits began to ripen, this festival was celebrated with dancing and games. It was also a favored time for hand fasting. These trial marriages lasted for a year and a day, at which time the couple could either end the relationship or formalize it with a permanent marriage.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, so we need to go look. The thing is, maybe the runes will spell something out, because otherwise I don't really know how we're supposed to know which one goes with which season or whatever. Maybe they'll spell out those.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like winter, spring, yeah.
Yeah. It's this way. All you have to do is call, and I'll be there. Yes, okay. She is pissed. Okay. So the winter one. So there's Samhain, Imbolc, Beltane, and Lunasa. Samhain is autumn. Imbolc was spring. Beltane was May Day.
Summer, I guess.
Well, I'm thinking Samhain is winter, because it's saying that the hearth fires were extinguished and in the new year's beginning and the coming winter had been ushered in.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so Samhain is winter. Imbolc is spring. Yes, spring. Beltane would be summer. And Lunasa, yeah, is fall. Okay. So this is winter. So, okay, I guess we can't click on these to look at them closer. But we want it to say Samhain. So it's red bottom to top.
Ooh.
So that's Imbolc. That's, I think that one is Samhain. S-A-M, yeah. Okay.
And then the Zodiac sign.
Which, it said it was November 1st, right? The day after Halloween, so Libra.
Okay.
No. Is it the previous one? Virgo through... Oh, are we... Wait, which one do we go by? Because they are different.
Is Scorpius an option?
Maybe. Yes. Okay. Okay. This is spring, which is in bulk, which needs to start with the... Oh my god. Starts with the 4 lines. Or 5 lines. Yeah, that's right. And then that one was which dates? 1st or 2nd of February. So Aquarius, we think. Summer is starts with a B. That one. And May 1st, which is Taurus. Oh, what is this? That's probably Taurus, but yeah. Okay, last one. Fall. Starts with an L. Okay, it's definitely that. And it's August 1st. Okay. Leo. Okay. I think we have them. I think they're right. If this one is supposed to be winter.
Oh my goodness. That's a good point.
But they all worked out and had the correct symbol on. You know?
Yeah.
Is there any indication looking at them this way? It's Imbolc, which is spring. That all feels right to me. I don't know.
Oh, do you think those mean anything? The fact that there's flowers there? Like, is that spring?
Maybe.
But that
Is...
would be the only indication.
I mean, we can try and do it that way. So spring is supposed to be Taurus. And spring has the 4 lines. Summer, which would be, starts with a B, so it's that one. And then summer was the May 1st one, which was Taurus. Fall starts with an L and was August 1st.
The horse.
And then this is winter, which should be Samhain, so it'll start with the 4. And is, do you remember this sign? A Scorpius.
So that was kind of smart. Because why else would we be able to look at the grounds of all of these?
Did we do it right?
Do we know what plants those are from that little book? Did we take that book?
No, we didn't take it. I mean, that looks like lavender.
Did it say anything about, like, this is found in the winter months or the summer months?
I think it definitely did. I remember it talking about the base of the stones. Okay. Off we go.
Travel all the way back to the bog.
I don't mind traveling to the bog. This is across the frickin' bog.
Hopefully we don't have to.
Yeah, that would be great. Oh my god.
Yes. Thank goodness.
Thank you, game.
Thank goodness.
Okay. By the base of the stones that reach toward the sky. Uh-huh. That's it.
No way. Do you think the other ones were marigolds? It says blooms by the rosy germs.
They looked like, I don't even see them in here, what they looked
You know
like.
what? I bet we have to pick them at some point.
Probably.
Maybe. Okay, well this is not helpful.
No, it's not. Oh no. I feel like that we're just missing, there's just something we're missing. We have everything we need to solve this puzzle, I think.
Yeah, I totally agree. Oh, we already left. I was like, maybe we should take pictures, but we're far away.
Do we have it like this part mixed up somehow? I mean, I know I'm reading them right. Samhain is meant to be November 1st. Ushered in winter. And then this one definitely is meant to be spring. This one's definitely meant to be summer.
I think you got them all right. It's just which pillars.
Yeah.
Look in the sky. That's one of the constellations, isn't it?
Oh, this?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe. Oh, okay. All right. Well, before we do that, this one was the horse. I'm just gonna, so we don't have to I'm going to take pictures of the 3 different pairs so we can just know which goes with which. Okay. Right, it's that one, yeah?
Yeah, that's what I would say.
Okay, so that's summer and that symbol. That just looks like these.
Maybe
it's only one of them.
starting point.
Okay, that must be it. Okay, so yeah, so this is summer. So
Fall.
this way would be fall, which is the horse, and that. This would be winter, which is Scorpio, which is that one. And this would be spring. Okay. Nice catch. Okay. I mean, we still need another one though. Unless, well, maybe it's only 3.
Yeah.
We'll go do it just because. All right, we do have to start from scratch, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. I'm assuming it's gonna be yellow. Do you think we should go check first?
I would also assume yellow.
Okay.
I think we can just, yeah.
All right, so this is blue. This is magenta. Right? That's the magenta
Yeah.
one? Okay, so blue first. Okay. And then we have to put this down. Is this one okay.
Yeah. Magenta. Which, I just feel like this is so not how this would work.
Yeah, I agree. What is this?
What could this be at all?
Do you think we are supposed to do black on top of it?
Oh, we could try.
But which?
But we have nothing to put down.
Yeah.
Maybe there is. Damn it.
Okay. Oh my gosh.
What's going on?
Nothing.
Stay
Ugh.
out of trouble.
Talk to me.
Maybe go try to talk to her. We could also go back to the inn and be like, hey, we did something with the stones.
You have a lead?
Oh my
Let's
gosh.
get back to your reading.
Good luck.
I'm gonna just check that this is for sure yellow.
Yeah.
Which thing is it? This one. Alright, so it's 64 plus 16, which is 80 plus, so 88, 89. Yeah. Okay. Just checking our work. I guess we'll go talk to him at the inn. Maybe he'll make us play drums again or something. I don't know. Maybe he'll tell us to do the sheep.
Yeah.
I feel like you're right. I think he's gonna be the one who starts telling us to do chores.
Right. While he's drinking at the end.
Mm-hmm. In the middle of the night.
Right.
I do like the music in this one though. It's obviously very different, but it gets in my head and is very catchy, the same way that the Sea of Darkness music is.
What's on your mind then?
I'll let you drink your crow's nest in
Fine with me.
Okay. Let's take inventory. What do we have?
The 3 pressings, the sheet of paper, the book on this, the book on the Zodiac, the lens, which we still have, but I think it's done. We have a phone card, the doll. This is that book. A lantern?
What's on your mind then?
That's what we
Guess
use
I'll go
when we
now.
walk around. I
Fine
think.
with me.
Okay, so it's just there. Her vows. The invitation, his glasses, the case thing, and then the rock guide. What?
It's nothing.
I'm confused. Should we call? No. Should we try and call, like, Ned or somebody?
Sure.
Nancy?
Hi, how's the party?
Great. What's going on there?
Hi.
Say Ned?
I will. Talk to you soon.
It's pretty crazy.
Always have something to say to Ned.
Hello? Is this a sales call?
No, Bess, it's me, Nancy. I'm calling from a phone in Ireland.
Nancy, hi! George, get over here. It's Nancy. Hi, Nan. You'd better be having a great time there because you are missing an incredible time here. The Dunhills throw the best parties. You should see all the awesome pool toys they've got. And everywhere you look, some cute guy in swim trunks is standing over a barbecue grilling something. I'm in heaven.
Sounds fabulous. Be sure to wish Kathy and Carrie a happy birthday for me.
You know, one person I haven't seen is Ned. Yeah, me neither.
He's there somewhere. I talked to him earlier.
So, what's going on with you?
What's that supposed to mean?
Yeah.
Are we supposed to be doubting Ned right now?
Just
I-
got back to the
maybe.
castle, something that may or may not have been a banshee ran across the road in front of me and made me drive into a ditch.
You saw a banshee? That's bad luck, isn't it? Not if you see a banshee. If you hear one, it means
Well,
someone's
we've heard
going
one
to die.
a lot.
Wait a minute. Why was it running?
Many,
Can't
many
banshees fly?
times.
Bess, what I saw just looked like a banshee. I'm sure it really wasn't a banshee, though it did just kind of vanish. And when I talked to Kyler, I found out that her husband-to-be has vanished.
What do you mean vanished?
Matt came to Ireland with Kyler and his best friend Kit, but now he's nowhere to be found. Kyler is convinced he's pulling a prank.
A prank?
Apparently, he's a pretty big practical joker.
More like a pretty big moron. Incoming. Check it out. Oh my gosh.
Guys? Hello? Bess? George? Anyone?
Sorry, we were hopelessly distracted by a truly amazing set of washboard abs.
Okay.
Hi, Detective Drew Crew is in chat. What's your favorite Nancy game? Mine is Sea of Darkness. That's the first one I ever played, or maybe it was the second. I really can't remember which one I played first. But yeah, I love everything about it. It's my favorite game. But I also play with my sister-in-law, Lauren, who played them when she was younger, and I'm playing them all for the first time now, and she has her own favorite.
The Wolf of Icicle Creek. For sure. Love, love, love.
Also a very good one. Do you get
Except for the Fox and Geese puzzle.
except for Fox and Geese?
That favorite.
Such a divisive game. Yeah, what's your favorite, if you have one?
My cell phone bit the dust when I drove into the ditch, so I'm calling from the payphone of this quaint little country inn.
Quaint as in charming, or quaint as in a borderline health hazard?
Quaint is in a place where people go to play games like darts and relax over their favorite combination of fruit juices. In fact, anytime I want to play the games here, I can earn tokens by mixing drinks. Turns out that's something I'm pretty good at.
You've been mixing drinks for people? Shouldn't you be doing something a little more maid of honorly?
The caretaker, Mr. Delaney, hangs out here. It's the only way I could get him to talk.
Why do you want to talk to the caretaker?
I promised Kyler I'd find Matt. I figured Mr. Delaney might know something that could help me.
And did he?
He says Matt was kidnapped by fairies.
I'll bet you were thrilled to hear that.
Whoever ran out in front of my car dropped a handmade doll that looks like the missing groom.
A handmade doll? That's kind of freaky.
It is kind of freaky.
Period. Who around there would be making dolls?
Especially because it looks exactly like the groom.
Mm-hmm. Right, it's like when Nancy's not going to say anything about the doll making station that she found.
Kyler thinks I saw
This is
Matt,
probably
and the doll
something
was
the
just
game
part of the
expects you to
practical
do
joke he's playing.
early on.
Let me see if I got this straight. The guy thinks disappearing less than a week before his wedding, causing cars to run off the road, and making creepy dolls is funny. Not exactly best Marvin marriage material, is he?
Detective Drew Crew said that their favorite is Blackmore Manor. That's a very good one. I did like that one a lot.
Yes. That
The-
one's extra spooky.
Yeah, I like the overall story of the fact that everyone thinks she's turning into a werewolf. I enjoyed that, and I also mostly liked the mini games with what's her name? Jane. And yeah, that one's, it's just good, like, setting. I like the whole, there's so many secret passageways and stuff in that one. Plus Lulu is in that one.
Yes, right.
Newsflash, Kyler used to date Kit Foley, Matt's best friend. In fact, Kit says he's the one who introduced Kit to Matt.
So is Kit cool with her marrying Matt?
He says he is.
But he's not.
Sounds like a possible love triangle to me.
According to Alan Payne, Matt's best man, there was a lot of arguing going on just before Matt disappeared. Matt was fighting with Kit, Kyler was fighting with Matt. Alan said he went back to London to wait for Matt to reappear because he couldn't stand all the constant squabbling.
So all was not blissful in premaritalville, eh? Wait a minute. If Kit is Matt's best friend, why isn't he his best man?
Good question. Unfortunately, the person most qualified to answer it has disappeared. Did I tell you that Kit Foley has a black eye?
Why am I not surprised?
I found a draft of the vows Kyler is
Yeah, what are you gonna do with those, Nancy?
Oh, custom-written vows are so sweet.
Problem is, these vows have the words, "What am I doing? This is wrong," scrawled beneath them.
That can't be good. How do you know she was talking about the wedding? Maybe she was just frustrated because she couldn't put her feelings into words.
That's what my first
That's
thought was,
true.
but
Did you ask her
I
about
suppose
it?
it's probably
What's
not.
the point? If she is
That's how I interpreted it as well.
married, she probably won't admit it, seeing as she's failed to mention it before.
That's true, too.
Wait a minute. You guys aren't suggesting that Kyler is behind Matt's disappearance, are you?
I admit, that doesn't make much sense.
But it is a possibility. You two are terrible.
That's all I got
I
for
swear
now.
you've got something
You
on
guys
that.
are wearing sunscreen, right?
Yes, Nancy.
Just checking. Bye.
Skin cancer is for losers. Yeah, that wasn't super helpful. But that's also how I interpreted the thing with the vows, was that she just didn't feel like the vows were right.
Right, they weren't good enough. Like, because she kept crossing stuff out.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I
Writing?
could also see it being like, me getting married is wrong.
Yeah. Writing vows is super hard, so fair enough on that one. Took me forever.
Oh,
Okay.
we're totally gonna have to pick flowers.
Yeah. Why else would that be there? I was thinking maybe there was another doll just like lying around, but
What to do?
yeah, I really feel like we've just hit a point where we're a little stuck. Been back there.
Did we fully explore? Oh, is that where you are now? Yeah. It's like around, like past the walls that came down.
Is there anything with the well? Like, we can't click on it at all. It's very strange to me. I feel like we should be able to click on it. Yep, flowers. So I was thinking all these places had more purpose than what they do, but it turns out it's just you have to go pick flowers. Maybe there's more to see on the other side.
Yeah, we didn't fully explore it.
Is there anything down here on this side? No. Hello. Meh.
Such a big area.
Mm-hmm. I kind of forget that they're gonna be here, and they spook me a little bit. We for sure cannot do this yet. Do we miss anything here? What are we missing? It might be time to just check the old hint thing.
Okay.
Just to see, like, you know, not answers so much as just what are we supposed to be doing?
I
And
can't just go snooping around, not with Kit right there.
yeah, and he's gonna leave at some point so we can snoop.
After you give Kyler the drawing
like
you
a
find
fortune.
by the old tree on the far side of the wall. We haven't found that, have we?
No. There's a drawing somewhere.
There's an old tree on the far side of the wall. I don't even know what that means because we like just.
I'm assuming it means this wall.
History?
I mean, it leads us straight to it. This tree.
Oh my gosh, okay.
Huh, okay. Oh shit. Somebody wants to build condos and a golf course.
That's why the banshee's mad.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, cool. See, stuff like that I have no qualms about looking up. Cause like,
We would have just been wandering around until we stumbled across that.
yeah. And we thought we had covered that area well, so
Right.
I don't know how soon we would have gone back out there. Okay, so we need to go talk to her.
You have a lead? Mostly I have a question. Do you know anything about this sketch? I found it outside.
It looks like a drawing for some kind of housing development, for the land the castle sits on.
Apparently Kit did them. Did you ask him to?
No, and I seriously doubt Matt did either. Kit must have done those on his own. The question is,
Why indeed?
anyway, I thought of something else you can do for me. Since there's a possibility, however remote, that there are forces at work around here that none of us completely understands, I think it only prudent to do what I can to counteract them. To that end, I would like to include these herbs and flowers in my wedding bouquets. According to Irish law, each of them is believed to be associated with things I could use a little more of right now. If you could pick them for me and put them in that vase over there, that would be wonderful.
Ah, that's why we can click on the vase. Okay.
Oh, right.
This, of course, means that in spite of whatever it was I saw in the nursery, I still believe there will indeed be a wedding, because no matter who or what took Matt, you're going to find him, Nancy. I have to believe that. Please don't let me down.
So much pressure.
Right?
Do it.
I'll let you get back to your reading.
Keep me
Maid of
posted.
honoring is a stressful time.
No joke, apparently. That's why neither of us had or are going to have one.
Yep. It's a lot to put on somebody.
Have you had to do it?
No. But I have seen it make people crumble. It get real ugly. Okay. I figured there would be okay. Any over here? No. Okay. Can we go to the well now?
I have a feeling you couldn't before, you still can't. There's one up there though, that like circle.
Right, yeah, the whatever the yellow ones are. Okay. Is there gonna
I
be?
think we have to go steal some from the lady or the house.
I think we have to go out there no matter what, just to see where everything is.
Yeah. I'm always like, someone's gonna be in here.
I know. Okay, so we have 2 of the 7.
Sage is the one hanging.
A dried herb, yeah. This one?
Yeah.
Okay. Yarrow. We have that. Lavender.
Is that
Base
the
of the base of the stones. Okay, larkspur. Okay, at the end of the road. Vervain. Oh. These. Welcomes all who enter the land of Malloy. Maybe at the gate then?
Yeah.
And then sage we got just now. Yes? Yes. Okay, so stones, road, gate.
Yeah, maybe. We straight up just stole whoever's that was their whole bundle of sage.
Oh yeah, all of it. Just took all of it. Nancy doesn't care. I guess the whoever's land this is told us to go get it, so
True. It's nice that we know the ground so well now.
yeah.
Right.
I feel like we pretty much know where we're going. The stones are up here somewhere, right? Or they're sort of like top middle is what I thought. Maybe, or are they like low? I don't
They're,
know.
like, mid now.
I don't know. I don't know this side as well. Here they are. Cool. All done.
Easy peasy.
Yeah, that was pretty painless compared to some of the collecting quests.
Yeah.
I like this system of moving around because it like allows you to move throughout the map so much faster. Do, 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 do.
Can you click on those? We got them all, right? Oh, foxglove.
Where's that one? I thought we read all of the locations.
Maybe it was when I keep wanting to call whoever lives there a witch. The witch had.
I mean, they definitely want you to feel like it's a witch.
It's very intense. Princess and the Frog Woman. And she was a witch doctor.
Yeah.
Just that she does what do.
Marshy peat.
Marsh. Is there a marsh that's not the bog?
Well, if we click on this, okay.
Is he gone?
Was he? Oh my gosh. Oh, we real snooping. Matt Simmons.
So this is the other dude's luggage.
Yeah. But if he's hiding his luggage.
Oh, is that really all we can look at?
Really? Ugh.
Can we not look through his stuff?
Yeah,
Oh
I
my
think that's
gosh.
it.
We can't look at his duffel bag.
Right, so then why would he give a shit if we're looking, if we're not looking through his stuff? Like, we know, everybody knows Matt's stuff is here.
Those were just some sketches I made because I was bored. I do that all the time. I'm not after your property.
Then what are you after?
Nobody does that shit because they're bored.
For your wedding.
Because Matt is gone.
Matt would never walk out on you. Never.
He still loves you, Kyler, but he's not ready to get married, and he just didn't know how to tell you.
Oh, so he told you to tell him. Or was this leaving your idea? What you tell him, Kit? That I still have feelings for you? That it isn't over between us? Because it is. You know that, don't you? It is most definitely over. You only been good at keeping the answer.
Can we not go in there anymore?
I better not go in there.
Yeah, this is just like, he's gone now. Go look through his stuff. But we already did.
Yeah, maybe if we just like do a screen and then go back.
I better not go in there.
Maybe we go back down. And his stuff in. Maybe there's something we didn't see, although it seemed pretty adamant that we could only look at the one thing.
Yeah, none of his stuff glows. And then over here, I don't think I can even pull that little name card out or anything. Well, maybe we had to just like trigger that.
Yeah.
My God.
But we did a thing.
We need to get in there with the flowers. Oh my God. This room reminds me of an episode of The Witcher where a young girl had a real bad time and turned into a monster, and he had to fight her. How long are they gonna fight? Oh, they're done.
You've picked all the flowers?
Yep,
Go ahead and put them in that vase.
there you go.
Splendid.
It is pretty.
Anything else to
Mhm.
report?
I found Matt's luggage hidden behind the cots downstairs by Kit's things.
How did it get down there?
It kind of looked like Kit was hiding it.
Oh, don't be silly. Why would Kit do a thing like that? Well, anyway, that's a good thing. It means Matt's still around here, just as I've been saying all along. Anything else to report?
Nope.
I'd better get to work.
As soon as you find out anything, let me know.
What are we doing?
Confront Matt. I'm gonna try to see if how we can trigger the sheep.
Yeah, I'm gonna go talk to him in the meantime.
Okay. So to trigger that, we had to snoop. So.
Oh, okay.
What's going on?
I found the sketch you did on the ground outside. What's it for?
What, that? I was just messing around. See, I'm into real estate, and whenever I see an interesting tract of land, I like to sketch out how I'd develop it. Just to, you know, keep the juices flowing. It doesn't mean anything. I was just doodling.
Great, so it's okay if I keep this.
Sure. Go right ahead.
I found Matt's luggage in here, right over there.
What? Over where?
It was behind the cots.
How'd it get there?
Looks to me like someone was trying to hide it.
Well, it wasn't me. Matt hid it. Oh my gosh. He didn't go back to
Oh my gosh.
the whole time. Tyler was right. Oh my gosh.
You sound kind of disappointed.
Marrying Kyler is the biggest mistake he could possibly make. If this means that's what he intends to do, you bet I'm disappointed.
Goodness.
I couldn't help but overhear the discussion you and Kyler had in the library.
That sure didn't go like I planned. All this talk of fairy kidnappings and practical jokes, I just thought it was time to clear the air, but what happens? Not only did she accuse me of being the bad guy in all this, but as it turns out, she had it right, and I had it wrong. Matt didn't walk out on her. His luggage proves it.
I want to say both of these things.
But if Matt's just pulling a prank, why would he bother hiding his luggage?
Who knows what goes on in that warped mind of his? Maybe he wanted nothing about his disappearance to make sense. All I know is, he's still around here somewhere.
Good talking to you.
See ya.
Okay, so the sheep thing is triggered now if we go talk to...
Yes, I think we talked.
Okay. I'm going to trigger that, and then that will end it there. And that way when we start next time,
We have something to
we
do.
have... I love to start with something to do.
I feel like we're close to the end because we did pretty much all the puzzles that I could think of.
Yeah, I'm wondering if this is one of the, like a shorter game. I don't know. Some of them are longer than others, or maybe some of them just take me longer. Or yeah, just like...
What's on your mind then?
Would you by any chance know how Matt's luggage wound up hidden behind the cots in the Great Hall?
That I would. I put it there. I told the Sasnach he was not to stay in Fiona's room, yet he did nonetheless. So, while he was out with the others, I took his bags and hid him, thinking to force him to leave her room. Wasted time, that was. Turns out the good people had something else in mind. Good at finding things, are ya?
As a matter of fact, I am very good at finding things.
Got something for you then.
A key?
To the sheep pen. The sheep I'm keeping on the castle grounds need bringing in so I can shear 'em first thing tomorrow.
You want me to bring them in?
There's 10 of 'em is all. With that lantern of yours, you'll be done before you know. Go on now, take it. Just walk the grounds, and whenever you come upon a sheep, blow
Oh,
a
the
Back
whistle.
they'll go to the barn. When you think all 10 are in, go to the barn and make sure, then lock the place up, and that'll be that. Don't be looking at me like I've got 3 heads, lass. You can do it.
Oh, so he's not even asking us to shear them yet. He's just like, gather them.
Yet. Do you know we're gonna have to do that?
You know. Okay. Well, that's us done for the night. Thank you, wonderful people, for tuning back in. We had a good crowd here tonight. We had a couple people follow. We had Kath resubscribe. we had some new people check in and say hi, so it was a good night. It's a nice comeback to streaming. I missed it. So yeah, I am getting my booster tomorrow morning, so depending on how I'm feeling tomorrow night, I may or may not stream. We'll see. Last time the booster hit me, I guess about 6 to 8 hours after, so I don't know how this one's gonna be. I've heard it's about the same as the second dose. So yeah, if I'm feeling okay, then I'll stream. We'll see. And if not, it'll be Friday night. So I'll see you guys then. Thank you again for hanging out, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.